See that? Man. Last week I had the drywallers come in and just put drywall on the ceiling where the lofts are. And as normal, they covered a bunch of crap up, and well, we're past that now and we're back on track. And all I can say is life sometimes sucks, but we get through it and we figure stuff out and then we move on. And that's what we're doing today. So today I have to build all of the floors for the loft. There, let's look at that. So you see how we got drywall, and then we see got this level line right here, comes all the way through. Well, this gets a floor. And then see how the other units got the same box? When these two units come together, this upstairs will all be loft. See, you can see how that is also got the same level drywall line. So today, we have to build that loft. Pink lines here, here, and here are going to be my rim joists. Those got to be cut first. Then I got to figure out how many of these guys, which are my floor joists, need to be cut at this length, and then I'll need to figure out how many at this length. So after I get my rim joists cut, then we're gonna lay out where everything needs to go. Okay, one thing you wanna check, when you're cutting your rim joists, those are your perimeter boards, remember? Those are the boards that all the joists are going to attach to. You've gotta make sure that these are straight. The joists, they can have a little bit of a crown or a banana in them, and then what we'll do is we'll crown that center to the top, and then it'll relax. Rim joists, you gotta find shit that's straight. I mean, you really gotta find them that are nice and straight. And see that? Probably can't. But when you sight down the side of it, you're gonna look right down there, then you're gonna flip it, and then you're gonna flip it. And then if somebody who's paying you is walking by, you wanna make sure you flip it a few more times just to make sure that you really look like you know what you're doing. And then find the straight ones, we cut those, and then we're gonna do our layout. Also, I always get in trouble in these videos because I never wear safety glasses. And part of it is because I haven't found a pair that actually work that well. This pair by Maggio, probably see it better on this. You can get them on Amazon for like 10 bucks or something like that. Again, I don't get paid for these plugs. I'm just telling you what I really like. Seriously, I gotta pay for these myself. Do you think they give me this shit for free? All right, this got a little side thing here. Good, whatever you call this, optical intervention of my eye to make sure that this stuff doesn't get in my face. Also, this goes without saying, you want to make sure you have a framing square, a tape measure, a pencil, safety glasses, and a hat to put the pencil in. All right, now that we got our rim joist cut, we got to do some layout. We got to make sure that all of our marks, all the way down, are right where they need to be. And where do we need to start? Well, we need to start at one of the ends. And in this case, I'm going to start right here. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to just go off of your red marks, your 16 on centers. You want to be 16 on center, but we have to do something first. We have to do what's called burn 3/4. All right, so how do we do that? Well, what I like to do is I'll make a mark at, say, 32 or 48 or whatever, something off the end of the tape. and then I will slide the tape to my left 3/4 of an inch. From there, I make a mark, and that's what I'm gonna pull my dimensions from. Here's another fun way. You can put a 3/4 inch piece of material, like a small block of plywood or something, on the end of the tape, and then pull it nice and tight. But because these are nice and short, I'm just gonna go down and I'm gonna mark all my 16 on centers. Once we've got our 16 on centers all marked out, then we're gonna take a rafter square. That's the 12-inch square, because it'll reach both pieces of material. Strike our line all the way through, put our X's, and do that throughout the whole process. All right, after you get all of the rim joists laid out, you're gonna wanna get things nailed up. Every situation is gonna be different. In our case, we have a rim joist right here that's gonna be attached to these studs, and that's gonna happen with structural screws. Now, in a normal situation where you're doing a first floor, it's probably gonna sit right on the foundation deck. All right, now that we got this thing all framed up, we can go over a few things. One, we want to be able to send this level right across here. This is an 8-foot level. See that? Man, good job on my part. That's what happens when you crown all the boards the same way. So again, we want to recap. We want to crown up over the top. And we cut all of our joists the same length. And if our rim joist is a little further away or a little tight, the joists dictate terms on that, because we want to make sure it stays square. If you start cutting your joist based on the tolerance of not moving the rim joist around, then you're going to F it all up. So you want to make sure you leave all your joists cut exactly the same and move your rim joists to be where they need to be. So this is kind of nice. On this side, it simulates a regular foundation build, like with your sill plate right here, and then you'd have your foundation underneath it. So I thought that was cool to be able to show that. On the other side, it's joist hangers, because we had to do a ledger across, and then because there's nothing directly supporting the bottom, see how this is a 2x4 underneath here, and it supports that. On the other side, we have to use joist hangers. So there's a couple of different ways to do joist hangers, and this is just my way of doing them. You might have your own way, but we're going over my way. All right, let me set this up. Okay, this is a joist hanger. This is a ledger board. The ledger board gets attached. You see that screw? There's a big old structural screw behind every single one of these. Now you might ask, why'd you line it up this way? I lined it up this way because I like that when the stud lines up with the joist. So there's a little bit more gymnastics involved in the coordination of all that stuff, but it's okay. Nice and solid, nice and straight. Okay, some things you might know, some things you might not know. The nail that goes through the joist right here is 1.5 inch, 10-penny common joist hanger nail, or Tico nail. The nails that are supposed to go through the side here, in these holes that then go on a diagonal and go through our joist into our ledger board, they are 3-inch nails. This is a common mistake. A lot of people throw 1.5 inch nails in here. They're supposed to be 3-inch nails. And if you have an inspector yank one of them out, and then they look up the Simpson strong tie ramification specifications, they'll see that it's supposed to be a 3-inch nail. So don't make that mistake. I like to set my hangers on my ledger before I start putting all my joists in. And the reason I like to do that is when working by myself, it holds the damn thing in place. That's really the only benefit. I don't like toenailing them. The bracket is specified to hold the joist by itself with the proper fasteners. You start toenailing these together and sometimes the brackets sit like crap. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video about how to frame a loft, subfloor, whatever. Layout's the most important. I would say layout is absolutely the most important. And then cut everything the same. You know, make sure all your joists are cut the same. Don't let your rim joist dictate terms. You know, if your joists are cut all the same length, then when you start putting it together, it'll all be the same length. Don't freak out when things get tight. Like if they're tight, they're because one of the rim joists is bowed in or bowed out or whatever. But if your joists are cut all the same length, that's like rule number one. And then obviously square off, pin down in a normal foundation situation, or if you're in a deck situation, same thing. We're kind of in a confined space where we've got existing walls dictating our squareness and stuff like that. But remember, always pull diagonals corner to corner and, you know, should go just fine. All right, please like this video if you like it. If you don't like it, just move on. You don't have to not like it officially. We just keep that between us. The comments have been great. I've enjoyed the questions. I enjoy answering them. I try to respond to almost every single comment, unless it's derogatory. Then I absolutely have to respond to it. And if you leave a dickhead comment, I'm probably going to respond like a dickhead. So you can test that out. We could have some fun there too. But if you're not subscribed to this channel and you made it this far, then you are part of the top 20%, because only 20% of you make it to the end of the video. So bravo to you. You should leave a thumbs up for yourself for that. But also you should subscribe if you're not subscribed, because only the most elitist and finest of viewers who are subscribers are typically part of the 20%. All right, I'm exhausting myself. I need to go, and see you tomorrow.